Sports to report in the end of the Emirates Stadium tonight between Arsenal and Crystal Palace. Somewhat surprising, 23 chances on goal in the end, with 6 of them on target. The Gunners then dominating the contest in most aspects, as you can see, but in a contest that failed to spark into life. Let's get some post-match reaction then from Crystal Palace's Eberechi Eze.
Point away from home at Arsenal as well. How was that game for you?
Yeah, we take it. I think we put in a good performance. We worked hard. We showed our quality on the ball as well, so it's a good point to take.
You created a lot of chances, one especially with Tomkins from the free kick. How difficult was that to watch? It came so close.
Yeah, it was so close. Those are the type of chances that if they go in, it's a different game. But again, we played well, we worked hard, and we got a deserved point.
Christian Benteke as well came very close when you threaded him through. We saw your reaction for that one.
Yeah, these type of games, you need a chance to go in, and it's difficult because you got long spells to fight the ball. But again, it's a great performance, I think.
How difficult did Arsenal make it for you as well? Because you kind of traded between spells.
Yeah, definitely. They're a great team, and they've got loads of quality. I think with the type of players that they have, you have to always be alert and keep working hard, and I think we did that today.
Got a tough run of games really, Arsenal away and now Manchester City, so how important was a draw here today to build on that for City next?
Yeah, 100%. I think we need to take that into the next game. I think with the momentum that we've got now, I think we can just keep going.
Clean sheet as well?
Yeah, we always like those.
Well done.
Thank you.
First ever clean sheet for Crystal Palace away to Arsenal, which is somewhat surprising, but then again, they've actually got a decent record, haven't they?
They've got a decent record.
5.
Yeah, they've got a very good record against Arsenal. It seems like Roy has worked Arsenal out. You know, he does put that low block in. And you could see the way that Palace played, that they almost thought like, yeah, when you look at the amount of passes that Palace had, like Arsenal had in that game, it's almost like Palace weren't really too fussed, and they were waiting for maybe a Wilfried Zaha break, maybe Eze to create something. Because like you said in the first half, Leanne, Benteke's link-up play was fantastic. It's just that they didn't do it often enough. But I think Arsenal, like Leanne mentioned as well, I should say that they might have been tired from the Newcastle game, the cup game before.
You say that though, only 3 players started from that game today.
Yeah, but maybe they were tired watching them.
Good comeback here. But Leanne, I mean, you look at Palace, they were always seen, in fact, to give you credit, Ian, from earlier, you did call them dangerous opponents. Because Palace have taken points off this season, Leicester City, Manchester United, Tottenham, and indeed Arsenal.
Yeah, I think the thing with Palace, you never really know what Palace are going to turn up, you know, and I think tonight, I thought the game was going to be a little bit more exciting, you know. I was a little bit wrong in that sense. I didn't think there was going to be loads and loads of goals, but I just think Arsenal are coming off of such a fantastic run. I think, you know, as Ian rightly said, like, with regards to Tierney, he's such a big player for Arsenal, and I think tonight it was massive. And it's only one player, but as I've said before, he makes such a difference in that team. And the left-hand side tonight just didn't look the same. Even Saka didn't look the same. Smith Rowe didn't look the same. It was a strange one. But the other players need to step up at some point. The older players, you know, I think the young players have carried the team the last few games, and sometimes you need other players that need to step up and do a little bit more.
Talking of which, we will focus a bit close to Ainsley Maitland-Niles, who started at left-back for the...
Can get on the ball and maybe try and build a little bit more through Eze. You know, like when MacArthur was on, you know, through Wilfried Zaha. Some of the times Palace should try and take the initiative and try and play themselves, for me. But like the way they've done against Arsenal in the last 5 games now, they seem to have a plan for Arsenal. Let's just stay deep. We might get something on the break and we'll go from there.
Yeah, should Palace have had a penalty? Wilf Zaha?
Yes, I mean, you know, he's probably...
There's a little tanglement there. An entangling, right? But like, it's not enough for him to go down like he did. I don't think that Rob Holding fouled him. I don't think he fouled him. They came together, and as soon as he got to the box...
I mean, he's put his arm on him, and I think in this day and age, you genuinely can't do that.
Yeah,
but I don't think it's enough for it to be a penalty.
I don't think so.
But we've seen him given.
Yeah, he kind of frustrated figure at points today, didn't he, Wilf Zaha?
Well, sometimes, but I think that when you watch Wilfried, he always seems to be upset for some reason if he's fouled, or even if whatever's happening, he just seems to have a kind of perturbed look on his face all the time, which I find pretty funny every time. If he's fouled, if he's not fouled, he always seems to be intense.
You think it's unnecessary sometimes? Yeah?
Maybe, yeah. But like, I think that he's somebody that I heard him speak the other day, talking about people can maybe misinterpret it for arrogance or stuff, but it's just, he says it's the passion, it's what he feels and how he deals with it, and he does it. It comes out when he's playing.
Okay, let's break off for some Arsenal perspective on the goalless draw tonight. Let's hear from Hector Bellerin.
Hector, all in all, how difficult did Crystal Palace make that for you today?
Well, they did defend really well with loads of players, and we tried to break that low block. I feel that little spark, that little bit of creativity, or just like that shot or chance that you can get sometimes was missing today, and we can fault team for the effort. We tried really hard defensively, offensively. Today we didn't have that little bit of luck that we needed, and obviously credit to them. They did really, really well as well. They knew what they were coming here for. They're a team that in the counter-attack they can be really, really dangerous. They play their game, and we go away with a point.
What do you put the lack of spark down to, do you think?
Well, I think when you play against teams that they defend with so many players, sometimes the spaces are really short. It's hard to play balls in behind because there's not much space. And as I say, sometimes it just takes one moment in the game, to just open the score. And then once the game's 1-0 or something, then the spaces come up because the other team is trying to score a goal. And we didn't score the chances that we had in the first half. So then we knew that we had to suffer to break them down. And it wasn't our day to do that today.
Personnel-wise, do you feel like you missed the likes of Tierney today?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think we do miss every single player when they're not on the pitch. We also have like great players coming back, and I think Ainsley did a great job again, filling in such a versatile player. But it's true that Kieran also was enjoying our very good form, and we did miss probably that on the left side. But we have very talented players in many areas that can come in, and we're not a team that we boil down to just one player. We need to find ways to be creative, to break away other teams, whatever the challenge they give us, and we need to keep improving on that.
A couple of big saves from your keeper, especially in the first half today. Had a good game.
Yeah, Ben is a great goalkeeper. He always has like 2-3 saves that really saves us every single game, and I think we had our chances in the other end as well, and I mean, we're happy to go away with a clean sheet. I think in that sense we're improving, and not just from the keeper, the whole team. In the last few minutes of the game there was a counter attack, and you could see like the whole team was running back no matter what. So I think there's positives to it. As I say, like the clean sheet, but long way to go for us still.
Is there a sense of disappointment in the dressing room at the moment among your teammates?
Yeah, of course, because also we've been enjoying winning lately. We know that we're doing everything we can. We're working really hard. We're doing what the boss is telling us to do. And but sometimes football games are like this, you can kind of win all of them, and we are in a part of a process. We feel like we understand each other on the pitch and the way that the coach wants us to play more and more, and then sometimes it's just down to that final shot or the final decision, and today we weren't as good in that situation, and yeah.
How'd you get it back before the next game? That spark that you had,
Sorry?
how'd you get it back?
Well, I think it's just we just need to keep going, keep trying. I mean, it's not a thing of like we have it and we don't have it. Like against Chelsea we scored 3 goals, against West Brom we scored 4, so we have it in us. It's just like sometimes different teams propose different challenges that you gotta overtake, and I think we not only need to think about us, we need to see that Crystal Palace did a really, really good game. They defended really good, they were really aggressive, they were tactically very compact, and it's also credit to them as well.
Okay, Hector, thank you very much. See you later.
Thank you.
A couple of interesting points made by Hector Bellerin there. One thing he spoke about was not having enough space to get in behind Crystal Palace. For that one reason alone, is it a bit dangerous for Arsenal to rely too much on the young shoulders of an Emile Smith-Rowe, for example, to try and find those gaps?
Yeah, I think so. I think he offers Arsenal a different dynamic, but today I think they cut off the supply to him very well. Milivojevic, Coyote in there doing that, and also MacArthur doing that in there. I think that they cut off the supply to him. He was trying to get in those positions in between the lines, but I think it's a positive thing that he's in there, because I think it changes the dynamic of Arsenal. Ian was saying in the first half, he makes those runs that no one else was making from that position, and I think that's why Arsenal are a different side. But again, you can't just rely on such young players to bring that. And they brought on Pepe tonight. Again, didn't do enough. I don't think he offers enough to Arsenal. You've got the likes of Aubameyang and Lacazette. We mentioned before Lacazette, how often he doesn't touch the ball. It's not good enough. You need to come and find the ball. If it's not coming to you, you've got to find the ball, especially as a key player for Arsenal. So a lot of responsibility on the young players, which I think they can handle, but the other players need to step up more.
That's the danger, isn't it? Because the energy, the drive the youngsters have brought since they've been introduced by Mikel Arteta, if it doesn't work for them, where next does Mikel Arteta go, perhaps?
Well, what you've got to do is you've got to hope that the way he's trying to play, and you can see it, and I go back to the goal against West Brom, the second goal, because we haven't seen it for such a long time in an Arsenal team, and it was nice, one-touch, sharp play, and you heard Hector Bellerin in that interview say we didn't quite have that spark, that little sharpness, that just wasn't there today. And yes, you say the young guys have come in and they've given that exuberance and that enthusiasm, but then after a while, like Leanne says, people are going to stop the supply. You do need then the more experienced players to then really get themselves involved in the game, really push the guys forward, taking more chances, passing the ball in areas where, yeah, it might get cut out, but if it doesn't, then you can maybe get into that quick play, what Arsenal are capable of. And you just didn't see it today. It's very lethargic in the way it was played today. It was one of the best things about watching it was Xhaka. You know what I mean? 1 minute he was unbelievable, next minute he was calamitous.
Xhaka camp.
You know what I mean? Xhaka camp we need to have, me and Leanne was saying. But it was one of those situations where now you're kind of happy with the 0-0 draw, but you're hoping for the next game we'll play with maybe Tierney coming back. Maybe Gabriel Martinelli. We're not sure if he's going to be coming back, but a little bit more impetus, a little bit more pace, thrust might get them going again.
And as Bellerin mentioned there in his interview, how much did Arsenal miss Kieran Tierney tonight?
Yeah, massively. I think, I don't want to put massive responsibility on one player, but his service into the box is fantastic. The runs that he makes, and I think...
He gets up and down that left-hand side. We're talking about for the full 90 minutes. He never stops. And this is why you look at someone like Aubameyang today, didn't quite get the chances that he normally gets because Kieran Tierney is normally flashing things in and around the box. That didn't happen today from either side, really. And in the same amount of crosses that come in when Kieran Tierney's playing. But it has to come from somewhere else. It has to, I think that the set pieces today, when you consider Arsenal have a set piece coach, the balls, what I saw Saka putting in, were very good balls. I don't think they were being attacked very well.
Yeah.
And those are the things as well where when it's not quite going for you, when you're trying to play your game, you've got to find another way. We've got a set piece coach for those reasons.
I think with Tierney as well tonight, I think they missed his leadership. I know he's not the captain, but he's almost like the captain without the armband. And I think that he brings Arsenal alive somehow. And I know I mentioned Bruno Fernandes before and the impact he has on Manchester United, but I think Tierney is very similar when he plays. You can tell he loves playing for Arsenal.
Energy,
every single game he plays for Arsenal, it's like it's his last game. And it's refreshing to see. And I think that's what they missed the most tonight. Not just his delivery, but his leadership.
And you think he's captain material, don't you?
Absolutely. I've said it from the first few games. He plays. He's got a leader quality about the way he plays. He leads by example in the way he plays, and the way he plays, it drags you through, drags the rest of you through.
We saw Palace shade the chances at the end of the first half. It meant that Arsenal had to come out distinctly improved in the second 45. Did they shade the second half for you, though, Ian? They had a few chances.
They had a few chances, but I still thought that...
Great opportunities. We saw Nketiah at the end, had that header, but is that really a chance? It was a pretty flat game. At sometimes it looked a bit like a pre-season friendly at times.
So they lacked freshness and they showed signs of fatigue. What did you think of that then?
Well, he's the manager and he's seen it. So, if that's what he believes. But I'll probably go more with the lack of quality in the last third. And as much as, Arsenal could have done a lot more, you cannot not give credit to Crystal Palace and what they do. That's why they've got results against Arsenal. They know how to get their bodies on the line. They know how to defend against Palace. And again, if you do get the opportunities with set pieces, Palace are very good in that situation. So you've got to make sure that people are attacking them when you've got the quality ball coming in like we got from Saka today. So that's a bit of a disappointment from my point of view.
What did you make of what Arteta said there, Leanne?
Yeah, obviously he's going to be disappointed. They're coming off of 4 wins, but at the same time, I think, as what Ian just said, you've got to give Roy Hodgson a little bit of credit. They had a game plan. They implemented the game plan. As much as it might not have been the most exciting game to see, they are going to be coming away from that game feeling excited. I think Arsenal fans and Arsenal are going to not be happy with that because it looked flat, but I think sometimes there's going to come a time where you're going to dip in and out of form. I don't think that just because Arsenal won 4 games, that means, they're over the hurdle, that everything's all fine. I think there needs to be still progression, and we've seen that tonight because you can't just take one player out the lineup and then say, well, that's the reason why they didn't win.
Good point. We spoke about them turning the corner earlier today. Is that a bit of a reality check just to think that, they're not quite there yet. Still, a long way to go.
I think what we saw there I think it's very encouraging seeing Partey come on. I think he's going to make a big difference. Hopefully Gabriel Martinelli will come back as well. And then, with the emergence of Emile Smith-Rowe and Saka, who I thought they're both quite quiet tonight. I think there's a lot to look forward to, but it's very easy to get carried away with it. But Arsenal need to be where they are in respects of climbing the league, but it's going to take some time.
What about Granit Xhaka's performance? You've touched upon it once or twice while we were watching him.
He's going to give away fouls because if you get around him, like Wilfried Zaha and anybody, in and around your box, if you can get around him when he's got the ball, you can nick it off him and he will foul you. That's what he does. It's a pattern in his game. He always fouls you. He never just... He makes that foul.
But does that not make him the player that he is? That competitive edge or not?
Yeah, but you say it's a competitive edge, but the fouls are petty.
And
it can...
And against better teams, it will come back to bite them.
It will cost you. It will cost you.
More reaction now from the Emirates Stadium. Let's hear from the Crystal Palace boss, Roy Hodgson.
Roy, a clean sheet against Arsenal at home, and Arsenal that are in a good run of form. How does that feel?
Yeah, it feels good. I'm more than satisfied with everything, really. I thought our defending was good throughout. I thought there was a particularly good spell in the first half where we created a couple of very good opportunities. And in the second half, we perhaps wasted one or two opportunities with the final pass after getting ourselves into a position where we could have produced the pass which could have hurt them. But throughout, it was an excellent defending performance and a fantastic piece of discipline and hard work from the players. And I'm very proud of the way they've gone about their work tonight.
Some really good chances, some really close ones as well, created by Eze, one for Tomkins and one for Benteke as well. And we could see your reaction on the sideline. They came so close, didn't they?
Yeah, I'm afraid that I've not learned that way of being on the touchline and not being involved in every movement and every ball and showing my emotions. It'd be nice if one didn't, because sometimes you show your emotions in the wrong way. But it was a good evening for us.
You were very complimentary of Eberechi Eze before the game, especially. He was used a lot down the left-hand side, especially, wasn't he? And commentary team were particularly complimentary about the way he waited in that free kick.
Yeah, it was an excellent one. He works very hard on that. I mean, I thought the free kick he had in the first half, which over the crossbar, he'd come closer with, because I see him practicing it so often. But what we really need in practicing is the corner kicks and the wide free kicks, because we get a lot more of those than central free kicks. They're one a game if you're lucky, whereas the corners and wide free kicks, they're common, and if you've got someone who can deliver the ball very well, it's worth its weight in goal for you, as Southampton of course proved over the years with James Ward-Prowse.
A point is obviously very important, but how important is it to string together these clean sheets as well?
Yeah, that's good. Very, very good. I think that we're getting back to where we want to be, and it's nice to go into the next stage of the season with at least 23 points, so we haven't given up yet the chance of getting points at Manchester City as well. But it's nice to know that there's a healthy gap between us and the teams really fighting at the bottom. And if we keep playing the way we played today, I think there are points in the bag for us going forward.
Is it also really important to have a performance like this when you're heading into another very difficult away game against Manchester City?
Yeah, when you look at the games on paper, which is a foolish thing to do, but everyone does it, of course, and certainly people do it for us, even if we weren't to do it. You are facing two potential defeats in a row against two top teams, so it's very good that we've avoided that at least, and it'll give us a bit of confidence going to Man City to know if we can keep Arsenal at bay, we might well be able to keep them at bay as well.
It's almost the perfect rehearsal, isn't it, going ahead to the Etihad Stadium next?
Yeah, I think, I think there's only so much they're going to be able to do there, though, because Manchester City, I think, just have too much quality, and I think that's going to be the biggest difference. But they're going to have to ask for the same thing, probably implement the same game plan. But I think the difference between Arsenal tonight and Manchester City at the weekend coming is that Manchester City have too much quality going forward.
But to get their third clean sheet only this season, what will that do to the confidence of their defenders tonight?
Well, the thing is with Crystal Palace and their defense, they're very well drilled, so they may change the personnel, but like the guys in front, whether it's MacArthur and Milivojevic with the two centre halves, they know what they're doing.
Okay, that's where we're going to have to leave it tonight. Ian, Leanne, thanks very much indeed for your company.